Awesome. Well, we're here with Kelsey Rodriguez. Thank you so much for joining. I'm excited to chat with you. We were just saying that you're like a meta creator for artists, like visual artists, and I haven't met anyone like that before. So I'm really excited to chat with you. So, do you mind kind of just for the audience giving us a breakdown about what it is you do and as a creator and how you make money?
Yeah, of course. I am a visual artist. I'm an oil painter. And I also share business and marketing content for creatives and how I kind of built that business on YouTube. So I started out in 2020. I was in college, was a poli-sci major, basically doing oil paintings on the side, but trying to kind of go for a different full-time job. And when the pandemic hit, I had to rethink a lot of things. I decided to pursue art full-time if I could. If I could reach that dream, make that happen, that would be great. And so I started posting basically once a week on YouTube. At first, just sharing my painting process, my creative journey. And then as I gained more and more experience, I had some experience like in art galleries and that kind of part of the world, etc. And I shared that experience. I shared what it was like to grow on YouTube and to build a business. And as I've gained more and more experience, I have been able to share more and more business and marketing advice, basically. And so a core part of my content is that educational part, but also the creative journey that I am going through as an artist. So oil paintings, print sales, web design, etc., doing all of that stuff. And yeah, the way that I make money is primarily through brand deals on YouTube and then AdSense and my online shop, affiliate marketing. Sometimes I do speaking engagements. I spoke at Vidcon last year, and yeah, so it's a lot of stuff, a lot of different pieces of the pie.
Speaking engagements as well. Great. I'm gonna add that to the list. All right, we'll get into the kind of the each specific line item there, if you will, in a second. One thing I wanted to back up on is that you're a oil painter, visual artist on the one hand, and then also a YouTuber on the other hand,
Yes.
or like a digital media creator.
Yeah.
And you kind of talk about the business of both. How do you kind of reconcile those two? Like, are they different audiences to you? Are they the same audience? Like, how are you kind of approaching those niches?
There are a lot of artists that want to both share their journey on YouTube, be that in the animation industry and fine art at conventions, art fairs, galleries, whatever, and also make money from YouTube. They view it as a different way to capture an audience, right? So a big part of being an independent artist, i.e., like not someone that has a career 9 to 5, is marketing, like getting an audience. YouTube is a really great way to do that. There are, of course, other income streams that can stem out of YouTube, but really the core for these artists, in my experience, talking to them one on one and in my Discord server and YouTube comments, is that they view YouTube as like a social media opportunity to funnel other audience members and revenue to different parts of their business. So for me, it's very much integrated. I don't actually view it as separate at all.
Do you think about YouTube primarily as a way to drive like sales of art or digital products or stuff like that? Or is like YouTube a backup? So like I tend to think
Yeah.
about or sort of bucket creators into two buckets. There's creators where the content is the product, and there's creators where they have a product and the content is the marketing. And I'm curious how you think about that.
I think I agree with those two categories. I don't necessarily view myself as in one or the other. I'm kind of a little bit in both, because I kind of have this mindset that really, I've heard Thomas Frank talk about this a lot, where basically he really talks about giving almost everything that you have to offer for free and saving the best of the best and trying to build the best in class products and having those be paid. So when I think about like educational content or business content, I think of that as like, okay, I am making this thing that will help other people. And if they like this thing enough, if I'm giving them enough value, maybe they go buy my prints, my artwork, my Notion templates, etc. But really, I am just trying to deliver value for them. Any sales that I get is like kind of a nice bonus. But for like my painting processes and the times where I'm sharing my own creative journey, like that is a moment where I am trying to get people to like maybe buy prints or to convert them for, other products that I have. But I kind of view like I don't necessarily think of myself as like a creator that fits into one of those two buckets, but different pieces of my content fit into one or two of those buckets.
Okay, so it's more of a spectrum, I guess,
Yeah,
than
for sure.
than buckets and sort of the each end of the spectrum. But that makes sense. Let's talk about the numbers here a little bit. First thing I wanted to dig into. So obviously I found YouTube, Instagram, Discord, LinkedIn. You seem to be making a bigger push on LinkedIn, which is how I discovered you.
Yeah, just in the
Um,
past week.
tell me about that. I'm curious, like what inspired that?
Yeah, so I have a friend, Yokel, on Discord. He is actually the leader of one of his own brand agencies. I can send you a link after we stop recording. But I was in the partnered YouTuber Discord, which is just for folks who are partnered and making money on YouTube who are monetized. And I was talking to him, and he was like, "Hey, like, if you want to improve outreach to brands, you need to be on LinkedIn. That is where all the influencer marketers are. That is where all of the people who make big choices about brand deals, that's where they live. If you want to get on their radar, you need to be there." And I am in a place right now where, very fortunately, I have a lot of long-term relationships with brands. I don't need to do a ton of outreach myself if I don't want to. Squarespace, for example, has booked about 2/3 of the content that I plan on posting this year. So I am operating with very limited inventory, but I am now in a position where I'm really interested in creating very unique integrations with brands, like having brands like sponsor me to go on like a helicopter hiking adventure in the Canadian wilderness, or like, let's make a product together. Like, let me license some of my art to live on your packaging, right? Like, I feel like as a creative, I have more to offer than just access to my audience, because I also have other creative skill sets, like in art, in visual art and oil painting, right? So one of the things that I'm really interested in is getting my art onto products, packaging, licensing that, etc. And so I want to offer that as like part of a deliverable in a brand deal. And that can be a little bit of like a weird pitch to agencies that are trying to reach out to brands and like get integrations, right? So
Right.
what I was getting advice for from my friend Yokel on Discord was really all about just like how to do that pitch myself, how to reach out to brands myself. And so he was like, you need to be on LinkedIn. And so that's why I've been posting on LinkedIn for the past like week and a half, and it's been going really well.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, your content's great. So I'm excited to see how that does for you.
Yeah, thank
We'll
you.
have to check in like 6 months or a year and see what the ROI on that investment of yours is. There's a lot of interesting stuff that you just said, so I'm trying to decide which direction I want to go. First, let's do the numbers. You have an email list as well, right?
I do, yeah. I kind of have it gathering in the background, so I don't actively post on it very much right now, but
Okay.
that is the thing that I am going to be picking up more and more. Yeah.
Do you mind sharing your numbers from that?
Yeah, sure. I think I have about 3,000 email subscribers. Again, I have not done any push to try and get people to convert to that, so that's just happening in the background. But in the next couple months, I'm going to be doing more and more like lead magnets, etc.
Got it. Building that into like a funnel for the
Yeah,
rest
of
of your
course.
business.
Yeah.
Cool. Are there any other sources of audience that I didn't mention? I mentioned YouTube, Instagram, Discord, email, LinkedIn. Sources of audience are places where you aggregate audience.
Yeah, no, that's really all the places that I am. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Let's talk about the different ways you make money. So the kind of buckets that I have heard or seen in my research are like brand deals. Obviously, that you mentioned that as your number one. Art sales, kind of like a broad bucket, because like what does that actually mean? But
Right.
digital products, also kind of a broad bucket. So maybe we can parse that out a little bit. Platform rev share, like I assume you make money. You said you're partnered on YouTube, so there's probably platform
Yep.
rev share there. I don't know if you monetize through Discord or Instagram in any way. You mentioned speaking. Are there others that I didn't mention there?
No, yeah. I mean, can I just give you the percentages right now? Would that
Yeah,
work?
please, please. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So I think I make about, oh God, I should have written this down ahead of time. It's like I make probably about 20% of my income through my online store. So that
Okay.
is sales of prints, digital products, et cetera, kind of lumped all together. I don't have that broken down because I sell them all on the same website. So that's about 20%. I would say probably.
I'll loop that together as like e-commerce.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure. I would say that brand deals are a little bit of a bigger piece of the pie than YouTube AdSense. So maybe like brand deals are like what, like 40% of my revenue. That brings us to 60. And then probably AdSense is like another 30%. And then everything else is that remaining 10. So that includes speaking engagements, direct viewer support. So like Discord. Yeah. speaking engagements are well paid, but few and far between. So they don't come up very often.
Got it. That's interesting. Great. Okay. I know you don't have like a specific breakdown of that e-commerce piece, but I'd be curious if you thought about it. How does like the sales of your art break down or compare against like the sales of your more kind of meta creator digital products?
Yeah, I would say that I do have one best-selling product. That is my art YouTuber workbook and Notion template bundle. That is
Right.
my best-selling product by far. It's also, I think, the highest priced educational resource that I offer. I'm currently working on making a brand new version of that product that's going to be kind of like a course and Notion template all in one, basically integrating all those things together and like at least 4xing the value, which I think is, I'm really excited for that. But that is by far the best selling product that I offer.
That's the ultimate artist Notion workbook bundle that's on the
Yes.
site.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. So your best selling product is actually also your most expensive,
Yeah.
or that's not art.
Yes.
Why? Why do you think that is?
I not only is it discounted, so if you were to buy all of those products individually that I offer on my website, it would cost more, but also there are exclusive things in there that aren't elsewhere. So there are parts of that template that I don't offer otherwise on my website. I also think that really when someone is trying to start a new project, like a YouTube channel, when they're trying to grow their business, they also one, they need advice, they need guidance, they need some kind of clarity, but they also need organization because they feel overwhelmed. They feel just like really intimidated by all the things they now have to do. And they need some kind of system to ease that anxiety and help them feel more in control and organized. And so the workbook and the Notion template together really offer that. The workbook provides guidance, clarity on your vision, enables you to stay true to who you are as an artist while also growing online. And the Notion template kind of holds your hand throughout your entire journey. So the Notion template includes like Notion workspaces that I myself use every single day in my business. So my content calendar is in there, how I plan out my business goals, all of that's in there. And that's kind of like an evergreen source of value. Whereas someone might go through the workbook once and really take all of that information to heart and use it to transform their lives, but they might not have to revisit it more than once.
So then would you say that the majority of your customers there are actually kind of starting their journey as artists turned digital creators rather than like
Yes,
more
absolutely.
established folks?
Or, I mean, yes, some of them are established artists who have done galleries before, have displayed at shows, but have no idea how like the internet works or how YouTube works.
Right.
And they want some kind of guidance there because it's very easy as a creative posting online to kind of get a little bit too lost in the sauce when it comes to the numbers and go down a path that the numbers support, but isn't true anymore to their creative vision. And so it's difficult to kind of stand your ground in that way. And that's part of what I talk about in that workbook that a lot of creators seem to really be helped by.
How did you come to the conclusion that this was the product that you needed to offer? Like, what was the path from like you start making YouTube videos and you're trying to figure out how to make money? How did you arrive at this bundle, this offering, this target customer of like artists that are starting their journey as digital creators and like providing them with the tools to stay organized and like actually make it happen?
Yeah, when I first made the workbook, it was actually before I went full time as a creative, before I was even monetized on YouTube. I just wanted some kind of thing to put out there. I wasn't charging very much money for it. It was kind of a very rough first draft of what this product eventually became for me. But I wanted some kind of thing, even if it was just for myself, to help me figure out okay, what kind of content am I going to post? What kind of like vibe do I want to have online in my content and how do I want to like organize this, right? When I first made the workbook, it was in Adobe XD. I looked at a bunch of like coaching lead magnet templates on Creative Market as inspiration and I made it at a coffee shop in a weekend when I lived in New York City. And at that point, I was unemployed. I was doing a little bit of freelance web design work on the side, but I was basically broke. My partner was supporting me, thankfully, and he was such a gem for doing that. We're still together to this day, and he's great. Now, sometimes I'm supporting him, which is really cool. But Yeah, so I was in this position where I basically had to figure out some way to make money. And I made this thing that I thought maybe some people would find valuable. And I got a bunch of feedback from my audience at that time and solicited testimonials and stuff via email, put it out there that like, hey, I'm making this thing. If you want to, test it out, give me some feedback, I'll give it to you for free. And I did that. And then over time, I just kept updating this product every couple of months, and it eventually became the thing that it is today. And the reason that I made it into a bundle was because I saw that lots of people in checkout were purchasing both the workbook and other templates. And so I thought, okay, like, let me further incentivize this behavior by offering a discount for doing that and creating a ton of exclusive content to that bundle.
So it sounds like you kind of stumbled on it in a way. You were like, I'm going to try
Yeah, for sure.
something. And then you start to see demand for it. And you're like, all right, how do I add on to this?
Yes.
Until you've arrived at this well-crafted package that people want.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Awesome. Okay, let's dig into the numbers on your revenue sources by platform.
I think YouTube is at least 95%.
Okay.
All of the attention that I get on YouTube drives everything else. I don't actively post on Instagram very much.
Mm.
I am very active on my Discord server, but I view that platform as more of an opportunity for me to do market research and to stay in touch with my community. So I might, get some product ideas from my Discord server, talking to people in there, which I think in the top 15 users. I used to be like number 5, and then my community really stepped up, and there are a bunch of people in there now. But I use my Discord server as a means of getting video ideas, product ideas, just kind of staying in touch with them. I do share like new uploads and stuff in my Discord server, but mostly it is an opportunity for me to build community. And now it's actually getting larger than I am. So there are people in there that have no idea who I am or what I do, because there have been links shared all over the internet to it.
Wow.
But yeah, I would say that in terms of audience driving revenue, all of that's coming from YouTube, basically. I feel a little bit nervous about having all of my eggs in one basket like this. And so over the course of this next year, I really do want to build even more on my email newsletter.
Okay, so newsletter is kind of the direction that you're thinking that you want to go to kind of own
Yeah.
the audience. Why not Discord over the newsletter, for example?
Yeah, I mean, I don't view them as necessarily. I don't think I have to choose between the two. I also think
Mm.
the Discord is a different value prop, right?
Mm.
The value prop of the Discord server is, hey, I made this space. There are 5,000 other people in here that you can talk to, that share your interests, that maybe live near you, that you can meet up and hang out with personally, that will give you, advice on a YouTube thumbnail or your portfolio when you're applying for jobs or the latest piece that you're working on. It doesn't have to be so lonely. As a
Mm.
creative, you can find this space to create some community and make friends. And that's what that Discord server is. I have friends that I like, I met with someone last weekend who I met in my own Discord server, and they live close to me. And I was like, hey, like, you want to grab a cup of coffee or something, or like come over, we can hang out. And we did. And it was genuinely great. I do that kind of often. And I always get people being like, wow, that's crazy. Do you think that like they're gonna kill you or whatever? And I'm like, no. That it's not. You can suss out the vibe long before that would ever happen. But yeah, I would say that the email newsletter is going to be the sales driving engine and
Right.
another place for me to impart value, right? Which is a different kind of thing, a different value prop than the Discord server. So I think they're separate in my view.
Got it. Okay, so 95% YouTube, like where would you say the other 5% comes from?
Other 5%, probably my Discord server. Yeah, like we were
Okay.
talking about. I have been really fortunate to work with a large combination of really big sponsors that are all over the platform and also people that have never worked with influencers before, which is always like a really fun situation to negotiate. So I recently worked with this small manufacturer, a textile manufacturer based out of North Carolina called Fiber Art. They actually do this really cool program called Weave on Demand. I know you've heard of print on demand, but this company sells they do blankets, tapestries, upholstery, fabric that you can repurpose into apparel. And we partnered together to make this blanket, and I can now sell it on my online store, Weave on Demand. So I don't have to hold any inventory, and neither does any other artist that would want to work with them, which was a really cool experience because I got to work with this amazing partner this amazing sponsor who is a small business. They're sustainable. They pay their workers a fair wage. They're now transitioning to an entirely solar powered factory, which is really cool. They make everything here in the US and they are so aligned with my audience. I had so many amazing comments in those videos they sponsored, basically being like, wow, like, this is the first sponsored segment I've watched all the way through in years. This is actually a brand that I want to work with personally. This is so cool. You got to work with them. Wow, I've never seen someone have like a physical product as a result of a brand deal before. That's so cool. And yeah, I mean, I would love to do even more stuff like that. I feel like partnering with those small companies that really fit my audience perfectly is very fulfilling.
Okay, so that's interesting. How do those companies come to you? Do you find them? A combination of both?
Yeah, it's usually a combination of both. So Fiber Art reached out to me, I think in part because I have positioned myself very much as like the go-to person for art business on YouTube. There are not too many folks that make the kind of content that I make, which really helps.
Got it. And so you think the inbound deals that you get largely are because like you are kind of the go-to.
Yeah.
And what about outbound? I mean, do you like reach out to companies that you see that are interesting, or like how do you think about that or do that?
Yeah, every so often I do reach out. It doesn't happen all of the time. Sorry, my cat is laying on my desk, and so he's making some noise. It doesn't happen all the time. Usually, I am like overbooked and I don't have a lot of inventory just from my inbound. And so I don't have a lot of like leeway to work with for outbound. But especially this year, like I mentioned earlier, I want to try and pursue like my dream brand deals, the projects that I would be like incredibly excited about. And to do those, I need to do outbound myself. So that's why I was talking to my friend on Discord. And he suggested to really start to be more active on LinkedIn.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. You had mentioned direct payments on Discord. I mean, it doesn't seem like that's like a huge piece of your revenue. I'm just curious, how does that work? I know that they have like a membership offering, but I didn't know they had like tipping or that kind of direct payment
Yeah,
offering.
so the direct contributions that I get from my audience include things like super chats on YouTube, like the paid comments that you can do on the platform, and yeah, Discord memberships. So for a while, I was offering Discord memberships in various formats, and yeah, that was, I think, a big part of why Discord wanted to have me speak at Vidcon last year, and why we did a deal together in I think May of last year.
Are you still offering the memberships on Discord?
I've currently decided to suspend that for right now just because Discord memberships is so new, right? I feel like most people don't know about it, that it's a thing. I feel like there's not that awareness of the product from an audience perspective. And also to kind of give you more of like a breakdown of how I think about Discord, I think of Discord as like a kind of middle funnel social platform, right? So
Yeah.
for me, it's not where someone's learning about me for the first time. It's where you go if you are an avid fan in search of a particular thing. And also, it's a good touch point for me to stay in touch with you. But to offer a membership at that point in the funnel, for me, didn't convert well because I couldn't get enough eyeballs on it. And also, it required two extra steps. So you had to be a good fan of my work, someone that wanted to support me and build a community and like participate in that community, and then go to Discord. So you had to sign up, join the server, and then also you had to now start paying me and go through the onboarding process of becoming a server member, or a server subscriber, I think is their terminology. But
Mhm.
it was just more difficult for me to get conversions. And I think if I were to offer memberships in the future, probably I would do that on my own website.
Okay, so you would like launch it yourself rather than go with like Patreon
I
or
think
whatever.
so, yeah. And I think I would do something like with a physical product, like getting a print every quarter, every month or something, and have that be a separate product and maybe offer coaching on the side as like a high level service.
That's cool. So like it's like almost like a subscription box.
Yeah.
That's fun. So what do you use for your website?
Yeah, I use Squarespace for my website. They are the top sponsor of my channel, and also just like a really great web design platform, genuinely, that I've been using for years. When I was doing freelance web design, I used Squarespace for all of my clients, and I have a little bit of a background in CSS and HTML and JavaScript, so I was able to customize it, make it perfect for me. I don't know. I just like Squarespace. It has basically everything that I want and none of the stuff that I don't, and offers, I think, unparalleled customizability for the quality of life and usability features that it has.
Right. What do you use for your storefront to sell your prints or your digital products?
Yeah, that's also Squarespace.
Oh,
I
really? Okay.
also, yeah, I have a little bit of a print store on Imprint. It's like a print on demand marketplace basically, but I don't know, I'm kind of transitioning a little bit away from that. I might still use it for open edition prints, but I also want to start offering limited edition prints in larger sizes. And I basically sell everything through Squarespace.
A lot of people will use like a service like Squarespace to build the website, but then they'll use Shopify for the storefront. How have you tried Shopify or other storefronts? Like, how did you end up using Squarespace as the storefront?
Yeah, I just kind of didn't need the Shopify features. And also, I think there's a high learning curve to making a Shopify store that works well for you, that converts, to learning how the platform works, etc. And I had so much experience on Squarespace. And when I first started, I was just selling digital products, which is dead easy to do on Squarespace. They do all of the email delivery and stuff for you. All you have to do is upload the file and tell them how much you want it to cost. And it was so easy. Yeah, I mean, I haven't run into any limitations with using Squarespace. The print on demand partners that I work with all integrate with Squarespace, and I haven't felt limited yet. And I don't think I will either, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, when you said you don't really need the Shopify features, like, what is it that uh, Shopify has that is like not really necessary for what you're doing? That like other people might be like, well, I'm going to use Shopify instead of Squarespace for this.
Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of people use Squarespace for like really high volume orders. I imagine there's some manufacturers that don't partner with Squarespace, that maybe these particular creators might want more flexibility with the manufacturers they work with or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I haven't really looked into Shopify too much because, again, I don't know, I just feel not limited on Squarespace. And so I don't feel like the incentive to switch because it would be like another thing that I'm paying for that I now have to figure out how to use. So yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. What about the manufacturing? Like, who does the manufacturing for like your art prints? Are there other products that you're selling that require manufacturers, and who does that? How did you find them?
Yeah, so I currently sell a blanket with fiber art. I explained that earlier. They're great.
Yep.
They have a really good, nice weave on demand service. They have like someone who like works with you the entire time that you can always reach out to via email to work on your orders, etc. And yeah, they found me. I didn't find them, which is great. And I also work with the Print Space. They're a UK-based company for my prints right now. They're a little more on the expensive side. I found them via extensive Google searches, and I think I'm now going to be switching over to Finerworks, which is a US-based company that offers a little bit more affordable, really high-quality archival giclée prints. Giclée is like a particular way of printing a thing. It just means that it's higher quality and like museum quality.
And was the print space doing Giclée or no?
Yeah, the print space was Giclée. The one downside, though, is that because they're based in the UK, the shipping was prohibitively expensive for US
Okay.
customers, and US customers are about 40% of my audience.
What do you use for your email? I know you don't send very many, but how are you collecting it? How do you plan to use it?
For sales emails, abandoned cart emails, all that stuff, I use the built-in features of Squarespace. For my email newsletter, I use Beehiiv right now, which I love. They have so many cool features. Yeah,
The Squarespace for like kind of the e-com emails.
yeah.
And is that just because it's tied into the storefront, so you don't really have to like set anything up?
Right, yeah. They know like who abandoned their cart, who bought what. Yeah.
And what do you like about Beehiiv?
I love, honestly, all the features they have. They have a bunch of monetization features. I like that all of my newsletters can live like kind of in a little bit of a blog kind of landing page. I like their segmentation, all of the cool stuff that you can do. I'm not maximally taking advantage of it right now, but I am hiring some freelancers to help me with that this year.
Nice. Do you use a bio link?
I do. That's also via Squarespace. They have their own link in bio thing, and it's like cool because it like imports all the preferences from your shop, I believe. So I didn't have to like upload my fonts and stuff again.
That's really interesting. Like, if you're Squarespace, why have a link in bio? Why not just encourage people to just use their Squarespace link?
I mean, I think from a user perspective on mobile, while you could have like a just like a link in bio page on your Squarespace website, that's like a little harder to set up and not as intuitive for every user.
Yeah, I guess it's the vertical setup is like people are just used to
Right.
that.
And I feel like if they have a link in bio service that's already built in and easy to use, that's in your dashboard, like I feel like it's a no-brainer to just use that for a lot of customers.
Totally. Do you do any like affiliates or anything like that?
I do, yeah. So I'm an affiliate with, of course, Amazon, Recut, which is a really cool editing plugin thing that I used to use, but I don't use quite as much anymore. But it's a good value add for my audience. And then I am also an affiliate for a Squarespace design course called Standout Squarespace and New Masters Academy, which is an online art school. I've worked with them a couple of times in the past, and I am also an affiliate with them and have been for a long time.
I added that to the list of revenue sources now. Is that still like a relatively small percentage of your revenue? Like,
Yeah, I it's like a drop in the bucket because I just
okay,
don't focus on it. I feel like there are a lot of parts of my business where I could be like 10xing, 5xing my revenue, but I just like have not been able to find the time. And affiliate revenue, like email marketing, that's are all kind of in that list.
did you go out and find these? Did they come to you?
I mostly went out and found these. I try and recommend services and brands to my audience that I already use. And because I am one, an artist, and two, a business owner, I feel like I understand their needs really well. And so a lot of the stuff that I recommend is stuff that I have actually used and have used for a long time.
Project management. I assume Notion.
Yes, you assume correctly.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I have a ton of databases in Notion. Usually I just live on my content calendar. I have that set up in like a calendar view, and then I have a couple of like Kanban board views where I categorize my content based on a couple different categories. So I have like a series for most of my videos. So, like art chats, art business 101, paint with me's, all of that kind of content. I have a series for a lot of my videos. So, they're sorted into playlists after upload. And then, of course, sponsorships. I also have different formats that I like to use and different kind of vibes to my content. So, a lot of the time, I might be doing like a talking head thing or maybe a vlog. And I like to kind of like sort my content into those various buckets to make it easier for myself to find something on a whim to create, but also to do like some very deliberate brainstorming sessions.
Awesome. Do you have a team?
No, it's just me. It's just me in this room.
Like no editor that you outsource to or anything like that?
Every so often we'll outsource to an editor. His name is Tomas. He is also an art YouTuber. He lives in the UK. And I did that for quite a bit last year. But this year so far, I am editing the bulk of my own content. And I like that I feel more connected to it now than I did a little bit for last year. I feel like the videos are more unique, more kind of in my line for creative vision. I feel more like aligned with them. And yeah, so I don't outsource much of anything right now, but I am in the process of hiring two different freelancers for copywriting and email newsletter stuff.
What do you use for finances?
I have a full service accountant, like CPA team. They're called All In Advisors. They're with a lot of different creators. They reached out to me to see if I needed help with my taxes. And I was like, yes, oh my God, please. Thank you. And so I've hired them. They're really great. They set me up with an LLC and an S Corp this year. We're in the process of doing that. So I used to be a sole proprietor, and that was a mess come tax season. And I was getting hit really hard with a lot of high tax bills. But now we are transitioning to an S Corp, and they help me with all of my business stuff, my personal taxes, and also like financial planning and stuff for everything. So they're great. In terms of invoicing, I invoice brands through Wingspan. They are like a free invoice service. It's no fee on the freelancer end because the fees are put onto the clients, which is really nice. They also deposit a lot faster than other services, are more reliable than places like PayPal, I've found. Yeah, for payment processing, I use Stripe and PayPal like everyone else. And yeah, for business and like bank checking, I use this internet bank called Bluevine, which is great. So easy, and they have really high interest rates, which I love.
Bluevine. What about credit card?
I have an Apple Card, and that's it.
And you're not represented. You do all your own deals.
I do all of my negotiations, yes.
How did you learn to do that?
lot of trial and error in the beginning, a lot of being taken advantage of, but the partnered YouTube Discord server, I cannot thank enough. Being around those influencer marketing experts, folks who run brand deal agencies, and also all of those full-time creators who were much larger than me. There's a guy in there that does like appliance tutorials that makes like $100,000 a month through his Shopify website and selling spare parts. He's incredible. Like seeing his posts in that Discord server was inspirational and very much a learning experience. And yeah, it was really great and truly incredibly informative to be around those creators and learn from them. And I would attribute a lot of my negotiation strategies and those instincts to being in that Discord server. But yeah, I don't know. I really try to, when negotiating brand deals, just pitch my value and be like, okay, like here's what I can offer. Here's what sets me apart from other creators. And here's why I charge what I charge. Also, just being willing to kind of meet them where they're at and create a custom pitch that kind of fits with their marketing goals.
That's great. You've talked about this Discord server a lot. How do people get into this
Yes.
Discord server?
Well, it's run by the moderators of r/slash partnered YouTube, I believe. There's a subreddit. But yeah, if you want to be in this Discord server, I can share a link. It is for monetized creators only right now. So you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And once you reach that point, I'm a moderator there, actually. They asked me to be a moderator last year.
Nice.
You kind of submit your channel to this bot, and then we manually approve people. So we don't allow in certain types of content, reused content. We try and keep the community clean and friendly. But yeah, so it's genuinely a really great space. There are a lot of really cool creators in there that I really look up to, and it's awesome.
You mentioned that there are like influencer marketers and that kind of thing in there. Are they like partnered creators that are also marketers, or do you also invite like non-creators in to like provide?
We have a couple of exceptions to our monetized creators only rule. The influencer marketers that are in the Discord server right now, I believe, are actually moderators of several subreddits that the server is kind of linked to. And so they got in that way. I don't know what our policy is on folks outside of that.
Got it. Yeah, some of the readers are business side folks.
Got
as
it.
well.
Got it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, if you want to send a link for people to apply, that'd be great. I'm sure that there are a few partnered YouTubers who read Creator Logic, and you found this much value. I'm sure they will as well.
Yeah, it was yeah, life-changing for sure.
Life-changing. That's huge. Video production. What do you use?
I just film on my Sony FX30 that I'm talking to you via right now, and edit things in Final Cut Pro. My mic is the Elgato Wave 1. I do some audio processing and custom channel EQ in GarageBand. But yeah, aside from that, I don't have a ton of other fancy stuff going on. I do have like some plugins and stuff that I've purchased from all different corners of the internet. Cinepax is a big one, Motion FX, Tropicolor for various creative assets. But yeah, for music, I mostly use Epidemic Sound. I purchased a music bed subscription for this year to try and dip my waters in there, but kind of stick with what everyone else uses. Yeah.
What was that last one you mentioned?
Music bed. They're a different music kind of subscription option.
And do you upload videos directly? Do you use like some sort of like scheduling tool or something like that for like, I guess there probably aren't really any for YouTube because YouTube's so robust. It's like everyone's uses these tools for TikTok and Instagram and all that, and you're not really
right. No, like scheduling you can do within YouTube. Yeah, there's like really nothing else that you need to install there.
Are there any other tools or partners or platforms that you use that we didn't talk about?
Man, I don't know. Like I can think of maybe Photoshop for thumbnails, but that's basically it. I feel like I don't use a ton of stuff.
Dope. Well, then we'll just do this kind of lightning round real quick, and I will let you go.
For sure.
So there's about 8 questions. Try to keep it like 2 sentences, maybe for the answer, maybe like the answer and then like a reason why, if relevant.
Okay.
What's your number one tool to save time and money?
I gotta go with Notion. It's so comprehensive. I have everything that I want on it. It's perfect.
With free money, who would you hire?
Her name is Mia. She's done work for the Published Press, the Dodford channel on YouTube, and has written like copywriting stuff for a bunch of really cool movies. I would hire her in a heartbeat, and I am hiring her, but I would hire her more if I had infinite money.
Love it. What's contributing most to your growth?
Probably that partnered YouTube Discord server and the friends that I've made there.
Wow. What strategies or habits do you soar by?
Posting consistently. Just once a week, you just need to do it.
What's the biggest risk to your business?
Oh, probably myself. Like my own mental health, burnout, etc. I feel like there's like nothing else super risky in my way. I'm not particularly worried about AI.
What do you wish you knew when you started?
That you were never going to feel ready and you were never going to be comfortable and that you had to just do it anyway.
What do you think of yourself? Creator, influencer, artist, solopreneur, entrepreneur, something else?
Bunch of titles. Artist, content creator, artist, solopreneur.
Who influences you as a creator?
Oh God. Colin and Samir, big source of influence for me. I love their interviews. Valerie Lynn, sketches of Shay, and Lee Ellickson, probably on Art YouTube.
That's it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kelsey. Really appreciate your joining. This is very interesting. I think you're building a really cool business, and I'm looking forward to seeing how LinkedIn does for you and how it all goes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry for the massive sunlight change over the course of the episode, but this has been really fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, we don't like, we're very informal here. I got the stroller in the background. I'm like,
Great.
Where's my camera? Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
We do what we're good at and we don't worry about the rest, right? So
Absolutely. Love that.
all right. Thanks so much.
Of course. See ya.